Hey everybody, welcome back to Discover Springford. I'm standing in front of Pink Moose Cafe and Catering, located inside the old train station in Royersford Borough. If you recall back in episode 2, we took a gator ride with Joe Moskell alongside the railroad tracks that led from Railroad Street Bar and Grill in Linfield all the way to Main Street so that we could visit the tomato lot for Royersford Tomato Company. Those are the same tracks that lead right alongside the Pink Moose Cafe. And inside, owner Donna Musetti is going to tell us about her 30 years in the industry and what inspired her to open her very own place in the area of Springford. I'm Geoff Desiato, a local realtor, aspiring actor, and transplant to the Springford area. And I'm on a mission to find the best that Springford has to offer. I'll be interviewing local business owners, civil servants, and other prominent members of the community to find out what makes Springford a great place to live, work, eat, and explore. I invite you to join me on my journey as I discover Springford. Donna, thanks for coming on the show. Really appreciate you allowing me to come and sit right in the middle, right as the trains are going by, in this quaint little place, which was actually the first place that we stopped as a family, I think. When my wife and I moved here, or actually when we came to look at the house, and brought our kids to see it, we stopped in here that day. So it's cool to come here now that, we've lived here for half a year now, and we're discovering more and more about the Springford area to be able to finally feature you on the show. So thanks for making your time available to us. So as we always do on this show, we're going to find out about the history of this place, but also how you got into this industry, and you can tell us as much or as little as you feel comfortable about your journey to Pink Moose and to Royersford specifically. So I'll let you kind of paint the picture a little bit of like how you got started and where you came from.
How it got started, I was about 13, 14 years old. My mom went back to work after we were all in school full time, so I started cooking because by the time she got home, she was tired. So I started cooking for the family and just fell in love with it, and Dad helped sometimes. And then by the time I hit high school, I wanted to go into culinary arts, so I went to Johnson & Wales College in Rhode Island, Providence, 1985 graduate. Okay. Since then, I've worked restaurants and country clubs and catering clubs and banquet halls, and I just leaned more toward catering, which is what I love to do. Then I started baking. I've lived in California and Nashville, Tennessee. I was a chef down in the restaurant down in Nashville. My mom and I had a catering shop almost 20 years ago for almost 10 years. Wow. Up near the Quakertown area. Oh, okay.
So, is this the area that you lived in originally?
I actually lived in the other side of Spring City. If you go out Main Street and keep going, it's called Spring City Road. That's where I grew up. My mom and dad still live there. But now I live in Spring City, which is about a minute and a half from where I grew up, right on the outside of Spring City.
So you are a local, even though you've gone. Oh, yeah. And I've heard that story a lot. There's a variety of stories where people are transplants like myself. People were born and raised here, left, and now come home, which is cool. That there's that desire to kind of get back to your roots, kind of thing.
Yeah, so. I like Pennsylvania. I don't like California. Too hot and too many earthquakes. Yeah,
that's for sure. Yeah, that's one thing we haven't really had around here. I think I remember having like a 2.0 earthquake when I was like 15 or something like that. It was not a big deal. So
and
the windows rattled a little bit.
It's just nice, calm.
Four seasons, right? Exactly.
Which is what I love. I love the season, especially fall.
Yeah, that's my favorite one too. So that's where I get to wear all my bow ties and sweater vests and stuff. So I'm excited about the costuming for the future episodes as it gets warm, because now I can start to really. It's always hard when it's hot to like wear something that's flattering, in my opinion, like a dirty t-shirt or whatever. So anyway, enough about me. So you had a catering business. So you've always worked in catering, or always in some type of hospitality?
Yeah, I've worked in restaurants on the line, meaning in the kitchen. But I always worked in a place that happened to do catering. So it's like, I always enjoyed it when I first started. I always thought, can I help? And I always ended up in the catering part of it. So I enjoy it. Yeah, I just enjoy the catering because it's something different. You can make your own menu, or they have a set menu. I can create that's what I do here. I have menus on my website you can choose from, or you can sit with me and I'll make your own menu if there's something that you want.
That's really cool.
Yeah, and it's, you know, as little as small trays, a couple trays, or as far as big as a dinner buffet.
Oh, wow.
For a couple entrees and a bunch of sides and stuff. So it all depends on what kind of party you're having, what you're looking for, and your budget.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how long after you moved back to this area before you launched this place? Do you know?
The last place I've been back since the 90s, since the early 90s. Yeah, from Nashville.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I've worked Wegmans. I opened up the pub. I was one of the
really?
opening people in the Wegmans in Collegeville, the first pub in Wegmans. I worked there for 5 years, and then I work QV. I actually have a second job. Besides here, I work overnights at QVC.
Oh, really?
Studio in Westchester. Yeah.
What do you do there?
As a food stylist.
Oh, really?
Yes, yeah. I'm one of the
That's
part-timers.
really interesting.
Yeah, it's actually
cool.
really fun.
I know, well, I'm an acquaintance with somebody who also does like part-time, I don't know if she hosts or whatever, but she does work at QVC part-time.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's what my wife's grandmother loved QVC. Loved it, and they actually, for one of her birthdays, they took her like on the tour and everything, and so it's just really interesting, you know, just like that's the whole other world, you know.
It
and
is, yeah.
So
It's
food
all
stylist is so you make the food look perfect for the camera,
whatever they're selling on air, we make it look good with food. Okay. Whether it be, you know, a pot or a casserole dish, or, you know, or even actual food. Okay. You know. So
you make sure that there's nothing hanging over the sides.
Right,
It looks
exactly.
like that catalog photo.
Exactly, just like a hairstylist.
Very good presentation here. So that's where we framed the shot perfectly to have all this. Now, is this an actual giant cupcake?
That's an actual giant cupcake.
It's like as big as my head.
Cake.
And I have a giant head. Just ask anybody.
Yep.
That's incredible. Mm-hmm. So when did you decide to go out on your own to open this place?
I was approached by a friend of mine who we were in the same network group, Bill Pinkerton, and he's not here, he's in Jersey, he lives in Jersey. He wanted to do ice cream, and I'm like, well, and I said, well, how about we add to it and make a cafe? And then he was like, okay, so we'll do that. And then it came to be like, well, let's just, since ice cream's not really 12 months of the year, we had to have something, you know, and of course my catering, I wanted to include catering. Right. So we have the ice cream and the cafe and the catering, and then now we're adding a bakery. Pretty much, it feels like a bakery because I do a lot of baking. Yeah. Which I loved. I really, really love to do. And between catering and baking, so I mean, I can, you know, if you want a cake with your catering, I can do the cake too. So I mean,
That's
and so
really cool.
He approached me, and then we started looking. We started looking a couple of years, 3 years ago, I guess, almost 3 years ago, and then I just passed by here one day, and I saw the sign for the auction. It was available, so I called the realtor and started the process and say, Bill, come on, let's go look at it and go talk to him. And that was May of last year. We opened up July 3rd of last year.
Oh, wow. So you're relatively new still.
Yeah, a little more than a year.
That's incredible. So what was it before? Do you know, before you came in here?
Iced by Betsy.
Okay.
She sold coffee and gourmet cupcakes.
Okay.
And then before her was, I heard stories about the pretzel guy. He made pretzels with pretzel sandwiches with rolls and breakfast. Yeah,
that sounds really appetizing to me. Yeah, I love a pretzel roll.
Before him, I don't know what was before them.
So the place was already kind of laid out, so you didn't have to do a lot of construction and labor for that to get it ready to go.
Yeah, this kind of like this was from Betsy. It was already here. We added the chalkboards and of course all the equipment and tables, the sinks and ovens and stuff. But if you can see the background, if you notice the 3 different color of the wall. Yeah. I didn't notice it until a few months after we opened. A friend of mine said, oh, look, vanilla chocolate strawberry walls.
Oh, how about that?
Yeah, so,
how about that?
If you think about
brown, white, and pink.
And pink,
yeah.
But it's already here. Everything we had to do was just add the equipment and stuff.
When you came in and you saw that it was already pink, was that like a sign to you, or no? You didn't care?
Kind of, sort of, because we didn't have the name picked when we first started looking for the place. Our favorite colors, both of ours, pink. Mine's hot pink. And Moose came from last name is Musetti. When my son ran track in high school, his friends called him Moose. Okay. And then all of his friends and our moms are all like close knit, like family. Right. And so they called me Mama Moose. So every time they see me, they go, yo, Mama Moose. So that stuck and still sticks 4 years later. So we figured we didn't want to call it Pinkies, didn't want to call it Mama Moose, so we figured we put the two names together and call it Pink Moose.
That's great.
And the kids love it.
Yeah.
The parents tell me that the kids are driving them crazy. I want to go to the Moose. I want to go to the Moose.
That's
so
cool.
it sticks. So it's a
Yeah,
name that you
you gotta-
don't really forget too. So
If you ever need someone to dress up in a giant moose costume, just let me know. I have some mascotting experience.
We actually
so.
are looking, we're hoping to do that because everybody tells me we should have somebody out there dancing by the street. So I may hold you to that.
Well, real estate it fluctuates, so they might need to make like $5 just to stand out there with a sign. You never know, especially if this show is not successful.
I'll give you free cupcakes.
Oh, that's great. I might not fit the costume after a
You're
while, though. So, your son in high school, was that in Nashville or was that
No, it was
here?
Springford.
Oh, he did go to Springford.
Yeah, I have two boys. Zachary's 18 and Adam's 22.
Okay.
And Adam was the one that ran track, and he, they both went to Springford.
Oh, so the moose has some significance in the area, I would say. The name moose, maybe.
Yeah,
So that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
So, what has it been like, the response from the community from the time that you opened?
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have a different variety of, if I can say variety of people.
Yeah.
I don't have else to call them.
Yeah.
We have older folks and younger folks, and of course families and
Right.
couples, and we have people that come in for Friday night dates, and we have people that come in after the baseball games, and in the summertime.
Right.
And for the ice cream and water ice, and
That's a classic thing. Like after, especially like with the, you have Springford Youth Athletically. You have baseball everywhere, so I would imagine it's always like, oh, let's go get ice cream after the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. That's the thing I really enjoy about this area is there's so many different backgrounds. You have locals that have lived here their entire lives. You have people that have chosen to live here because they love the small town atmosphere. And then you walk into a place like this, which is a transformed train station.
And I've had
it's
people,
like going back in time.
I've had people come in and say, I remember when I was a kid and I rode the train to Reading with my father, or we went to Philadelphia, went shopping with my mother, and I always hear stories, and it's great to hear.
Yeah.
And
it definitely creates an atmosphere. Like even when the train goes by, I know it's loud, but it's like you're right there.
Even the adults jump up and watch a train as much as the kids, because it is. You don't get this close to a train.
Right.
You can hear it. I live on the opposite corner of Spring City, and I can hear the train every single time it goes by.
Yeah, me too. I live on Pine Street, which is we're right on the dead end there, and we hear it every time. That was one of those things where we got the house, we're like, oh, you can hear the train, okay.
Yeah. And it was even more fun. One day, the Ringling Brothers Barnum and Bailey circus train came by.
Oh,
I
really?
think for the last time, because a few months later is when they closed down. But they came up. They were on the way to
so
Reading
they run their
for their last
really
shows.
Cool. Was it all colorful like the?
Oh yeah,
Ringling,
every train had Ringling Brothers on it. Yeah, it was
wow,
really
that's
neat.
really cool.
Yeah. Cages and.
I don't think about that when I think of like a freight. I think it's like the same freight going every time.
It usually is, but that was just a treat
that's
that
really
one
cool.
day. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So, what are some of the things that you do on an ongoing basis with the cafe catering and everything?
Well, the cafe is right now our hours are 11:30 to 7, Monday through Friday, 12 to 7 on Saturday, and we're closed on Sundays starting this weekend.
Yeah.
Give myself a day off.
Yeah, you deserve it.
And then starting October 16th, we are opening for breakfast and lunch, 7 a.m. Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. on Saturday.
Awesome.
Until 3. And then I'm going to be doing my winter menu, which is going to be soup, stews, and chilies, and hearty sandwiches, and paninis and melts, and some of the stuff that I already have, pork barbecue, and all the popular stuff I keep on the menu.
Right.
Then the caterings all year long as well. So is the cafe. The ice cream will go away in a few weeks. We're dwindling down the flavors, so we can take away the freezers and extend the seating in the cafe to about 35 to 40 people comfortably. The baking is going to be a lot more baking than just cupcakes. I'm going to do, tarts and cakes and pies and pineapple upside down cake. And apparently peach cobbler is very popular in this area.
Oh, really? Okay.
Because I make it one day and it's gone the next.
Oh, okay.
So that's probably going to be kept on the menu.
Yeah.
And holiday desserts too. I'm going to start advertising for ordering holiday desserts for Thanksgiving and Christmas. I have
definitely.
everything's on my website as far as all my menus, what do we have to offer, and if you don't see something you want, just ask, and if I can make it, I make it.
Okay, that sounds great.
Or bake it. So.
Yeah. So, is there a particular genre of event that you have been catering for more than others, or ones that maybe you would prefer? You want people to know that you can do that maybe people haven't really taken you up on the offer.
We actually can do birthday parties here. Okay. So I've done quite a few birthday parties since we opened up. In the wintertime, it could be like 30 to 35 people in here. Summertime, spring, and even some of the fall, you can even have it on the patio. We did a patio birthday party for like 45 people last month. So it seats out, of course, outside it's a lot bigger. I've done baby showers, bridal showers. We're actually offering afternoon tea time.
Oh, cool.
So you have a tea party, whether it be with a couple of your friends or have a birthday party tea time. I had a birthday party last month for 13, 11-year-old girls.
Oh, that's really cool.
Yeah, they had fluffernutter tea sandwiches, and they had a great time.
Did they get all dressed up and everything?
Yeah, they did actually.
Little white gloves and stuff?
No, not the gloves, just pretty dresses, and they were all dressed up. Cool. Yeah, it was really not that great time.
That sounds like a great opportunity. Yeah,
I had a nice time. It was all girls,
Yeah.
because I have 2 boys.
Yeah,
So.
I know. You're like, I've always wanted to do that.
Right.
So that's really cool. It gives you the opportunity to do things that you don't normally get. And I'm sure you're not making little tea sandwiches for your sons at home, so you get to exercise those muscles that have maybe atrophied.
Spring through fall, we do vendor events once or twice a month to raise funds for organizations. It's usually, I do a lot, actually I do discounts for veterans, first responders, and law enforcement, 10% off their bill every day.
That's really cool.
And then most of our vendor events are, the vendor fees are given to the DAV Chapter 25. To Veterans Helping Veterans. My partner's father is a veteran, Vietnam veteran, so Pinky. So he's part of the chapter. So we give a lot, donate a lot to them. We're talking in the talks of wine and food tasting samplings.
Oh wow!
Coming in probably November. So that's going to be. We have a Facebook page. So if you're curious about anything, look on the Facebook page. I usually post what's coming up. We have classic car shows, second and fourth Wednesdays through October.
Oh,
they usually start probably April or May.
Yeah, well, it's really nice that you have this huge parking lot.
Yeah, they line up right outside the thing. I mean, people have a great time. They're a great bunch of people. We have new cars every one. So we have the same guys that come every other week, and then we have new people. But they have a great time. We put a game of beanbag toss.
Oh, nice.
I think it's called cornhole.
Yeah.
But we have
we
that.
called
they
it
have a great
beanbag
time.
toss my day.
Yeah,
I don't know
right,
exactly.
So they're big competitors out there trying to see who can win this week. So, but the next one is the second Wednesday of October.
Yeah.
And then I think there's 2 more, and then I think they're done past October.
Okay, so we'll get people to come back next time around. So.
Yeah, and then vendor events go through September. You start usually April, but the weather was horrible this year, so I might make it May next year.
Yeah, just to be safe.
But
I think I remember that actually when we came in, because we moved here in May, but we were here obviously for a variety of things throughout April and stuff. And I think I remember you saying that you had to cancel a vendor event after. It was like your first one and you had to cancel it.
Yeah, the weather was just, Mother Nature just doesn't like ice cream, I guess.
I guess not.
She wasn't very
or catering
nice
or sandwiches.
Doesn't like to eat,
So that's really cool. One thing I like to ask, and I sometimes tend to forget, but especially for someone like yourself that's worked in this industry for a very long time, are there any lessons that you learned from either a boss, it could be positive or negative, or just a prominent person in your life that you've held on to either as now a business owner to say, I'm never going to do that, or this is how I'm going to operate my business based on this truth that I've learned? I know I kind of put you on the spot, but
being in the restaurant business, you work and deal with a lot of different personalities and moods, and I was prone to getting attached to that mood.
Right.
So when I work with a miserable person or somebody who was just, shouldn't be working with the public, I got to be miserable. And then when you hate your job, you go in hating your job, it just makes you more miserable. Right. So it's like I quit my last job, not QVC, the one before that. I just said, you know what, I can't do this anymore. I'm getting too old. I just want to be happy, and I am. Yeah. So now, like between QVC and here, I love both jobs. Yeah. I don't care that I work 7 days a week. I'm working 70, 80 hours a week. Yeah. I don't care because I love my job. I mean, I care, but I love both jobs.
Your body cares probably more than your mind.
Yeah. You're like, aches and pains once in a while. Yeah. But, I mean, I don't want to be miserable anymore, and I haven't been for the last couple of years. I'm happy, and I'm happy where I am. I'm hoping that this grows. The business. I mean, it seems like we get a lot of people. We're getting different people in here every single day, which helps.
Right.
But and it makes me happy. So it's like if I can make people happy through food and cupcakes, and
It's like comfort food a little bit, you know, like who doesn't like a good cupcake? I mean, you must have a miserable life if you can't handle that. Yeah.
Right.
Or ice cream or a nice warm sandwich or soup on a cold
grilled
day.
Cheese and tomato, grilled cheese and tomato basil soup. Yeah, that's my
so
biggest
good.
thing on the menu. That and the chicken salad.
Yeah, I can't wait for like the first like rainy day. I'm gonna come in here and get a hot soup and a sandwich.
Believe
and
it
just
or not,
feel
people
happy.
order it in the summertime.
Really?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Oh, if it's good, it's good. Any
Yeah.
time of the year, I guess, right?
But yeah, I just learned that I cannot, take on people's bad moods and personalities, and I'm just done with that.
Right. That's exactly how I got to do what I'm doing and being, working for myself in real estate. Was if you told me real estate 5 years ago, I would have laughed at you because I had a stereotype in my head of what a real estate agent was. So that was I jumped in, and my whole thing was I'm going to be the anti of that stereotype. So, succeed or fail, I'm doing it my own way, I guess, and that's what makes me happy. Like I was miserable working in a cubicle, and as a performing artist in a variety of other creative outlets, not being able to do the things that I felt that I was like created to do. Like you just feel like you're dying, and I totally understand that. Like you get sucked into that world and the attitudes of the people around you. Not like you don't want to because you feel terrible, but it's really hard to be the shining light in the midst of a bunch of...
Well, plus the fact that I'm tired of working for other people.
Exactly
I'm
right.
tired of making other people look good and make them money, and now I can...
Exactly
making the money, but, but I can hopefully make myself look good and get myself a good reputation, and teach people on the way. Now I can be the person to... teach somebody, or I'll always being asked, how did you make that? And I'm open to, hey, you try this and do this, and I've given out recipes because people wanted to know, and so now I can teach
I don't think
people.
it's necessarily even like you have to concern yourself with like people making stuff on their own, because I mean I know a lot of people, like I love to cook personally. And I don't understand when people are like, I can't cook. I'm like, but there's like a recipe. Like you can read, right? Like you can read and apply. But I guess it's just a gift, because I know a lot of people that have recipes and you eat the food and you're like, so like you shouldn't have to worry about it. Like the fact that you're sharing that information, like they're gonna say, I don't know how she does it, because when I make it, it's not the same as Pink Moose, So I think it's like when I like try to make like a Chick-fil-A sandwich at home, it's like, well, it's not as good as Chick-fil-A, So so that's good that you're open with that. But I also think that there's probably something that Donna does that they can't do, So
30,
teach them everything they know, not
age.
everything you know, right? It's like that whole thing.
30 plus years in the business, hopefully I'm doing something right.
Right. No, I'm sure you are. So. Yeah, that's really cool, and I feel the same way. Like, I spent a long time working and not seeing how my work had any impact whatsoever, other than padding the pockets of somebody else. I think it's one of the things that I just really love in these conversations is that I'm gleaning as a entrepreneur from other people's entrepreneurial experiences. So it's kind of a selfish endeavor on my part, because I feel like I'm learning so much about the process from people from different walks of life, different industries, and then finding out that, someone who's entrepreneurial, it doesn't matter what industry, like there's a lot of common threads that tie together. It's a lot of common personality traits that I'm experiencing as I meet people, a lot of similar journeys, which is really cool. So it kind of makes me encouraged, because I see the parallels between my own life, so it inspires me to keep going, especially when I like hear people's stories of like difficulty and perseverance and stuff. And I think that is one of the things that I find really cool about this area, is that it just in the history, it's had its ups and downs. It seems like it's on the upswing again. So like let's go all in, in the Springford area. So that's really great. Thank you for sharing your story. As we wrap up, why don't you let people know how they can get in touch with you, your website, how they can find information about the Pink Moose? You mentioned the Facebook page.
You can go on the Facebook page, and my suggestion is don't put the Pink Moose, or you'll get a place in New York.
Okay.
Put Pink Moose Ice Cream Cafe and Catering, and it should come up. There's a link to the website. The website name's really long, so I suggest just instead of me writing and telling it, just go on the Facebook, a link right to the website. It has everything that we offer, all the events coming up, the hours, my holiday hours, the catering menus. I post a weekly menu for the cafe along with the specials that I have every week. The menu for the cafe is usually standard, but then I change the specials, so I post both in case somebody,
Right.
you know, and I do have an email list, so if you want to get on the email list to have it emailed to you every week, I can do that as well, so let me know. As far as the hours, so when anything changes, I put it on the website.
Yeah,
Or
so when
post on
the
Facebook.
hours are, you know, the breakfast hours, we definitely want people to come out and get breakfast before they go to work.
Yeah.
And all that information will be below the video, so people can click out to it regardless of how long or short the you know, it'll be easy. I'll hyperlink it so people can just click on it rather than having to type it into their browser. So that's great. Well, Donna, thank you so much
Appreciate it.
for
Thank
sharing the story of Pink Moose.
That's all the time we have for today on Discover Springford. I want to thank Donna for making herself available to be featured here on the show. And I want to encourage you to stop in, especially as the weather gets colder, for that grilled cheese and tomato basil soup. I was salivating just thinking about it. Until next time, get out there and discover what makes the Springford area a great place to live, work, eat, and explore. I'm standing in front of Pink Moose Cafe, same railroad tracks that are right to my left in this spot. It's the same tracks that... I'm standing in front of the Pink Moose Cafe and Catering, located inside the train station by Royersford. Come on, dude. You've done this before. To the lot where Royersford Tomato Company raises their... Come on, idiot. Hey everybody, welcome back to Discover Springford. Those are the same tracks that lead right alongside that was gonna be a good one. I felt it.